No, I can't imagine why. I'm seeing if I can get my wireless charger to work. Doesn't matter. It may be. I don't even know if anybody's populating what, but this is well worth saving for prosperity, no doubt. I do love me some McKinley. So, anyways, here we go.
Hey guys, it's Matt. Today we're going to continue the age-old what do the creeps know about the nature of reality? That's part one. Part two is how many creeps know? Is it like 10 people in a room, or do most of them know? For example, how many creeps, or of course they all know that you can't land on, that thing that was full last night. I can probably talk about it, but I don't want a banner ad. I'll get a banner ad saying the Apollo programs, whatever below that. I don't want that bullshit below the video. So a lot of them know that that can't be landed on, but in terms of the nature of reality, for example, why nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. Is there a small group that understands that? To me, it's simple. It's very simple. We'll talk about it because light is the nature of this illusion. If anything traveled faster than it, the visual illusion would break down. I don't know. I'm a simpleton. It seems easy though. Well, the nature of the illusion, the organic illusion, is light. Oh, sorry guys. By the way, it says Clinton. It says Clinton for me because it's backwards until it loads. On the old Mac, it was normal and backwards when it loaded. I got comments for years telling me how to correct it, but I still call this the new Mac. The new Mac's now 4 years old. Thank you I obviously didn't print this up for myself. It was a gift. Stephen Ashara, thank you very much. It's a very warm hat. I wonder what the people in the grocery store will say when they look up to take my money and they see not milk. I don't think anybody will have the balls to say anything. We'll see. They'll just think I'm a crazy person, but they think that about us anyway. So guys, oh, by the way, I found that. Have you ever seen online that hidden hand interview? It's very interesting. I have it saved, or the web page saved, but somebody actually sent it to me in a little booklet too. It's very interesting. I don't know if we're going to do that on Saturday. Frank said some interesting points to ponder. Again, the brain trust here as to how this reality works is incredible. There's always some things in what Frank sends, or I just go, that is pretty amazing insight. So as I've said, I have nothing to offer personally. I just regurgitate what all of you come up with and make it seem like I have some original thoughts at times, which I don't, of course. I'm just good at presenting it back to you. The hidden hand interview, there's a lot of things where as I read it back every few years, I go, yeah.
Link will be in the description box, unless you want to comment here.
Probably the way, not milk works, or it talks mostly, if you have let me explain what that is for those that have never heard about it. It could have obviously be completely, I was going to say not milk orchestrated, but if this person that was answering questions in this chat room or whatever, 14 years ago or 15 years ago, whenever it was, 12 years ago, well, if they are the bloodline and the controlling family that they say they are, well, that's all not milk anyway. It doesn't really matter who this person is or what they claim to be. When we go over it, we'll just look at each question and answer. There's a question of some kind posted to this chat room, and the person answers saying basically things like, yes, we've been the controlling or part of the controlling bloodline here for a millennia. We're here to manage this reality on behalf of you animals. It's a very highbrow. This person, we're a higher evolutionary species of some kind. I don't know exactly how he or she puts it. I believe it's a he. But as you go through it, it's like, that's probably how it works. So we need to go through it again. Now there's a whole host of predictions made in this hidden hand interview with this member of the aluminum Ducati, presents themselves as a bloodline. And there's a lot of predictions that almost all of them don't come true. McCain, Obama. I mean, it goes back. I guess I'm thinking it goes back that far. Is it McCain, Obama? But yeah, so maybe it goes back a little bit farther than I thought. But it doesn't matter if the predictions are wrong, because I think if it is correct, and there are these ruling bloodlines or whatever they are, that there's something that manages all this, that decides when the U.S. dollar is going to go down and the one world currency is going to replace it. There is a group of people, the one world system, that manage this stuff. So whether it's a bloodline or I've talked about it many times, they're thrown out. Not what we call not milk has always been here. So I don't care one way or another whether it's run by bloodline. I mean, something runs it. Something runs this fraud. So I don't really care what it is. But so all the predictions are wrong. But I think if that person were reviewed again, they would say, look, we do that. How do I get this out? I'm not concerned if there's any merit to it. It doesn't bother me that the predictions are all wrong, because the person would likely say, this is what we do. We give you the information about how this world works, and then we put out some predictions that don't come true, and then people think it's what was presented was all bogus. We do that on purpose, I think they would say. Give the false predictions. So if you say, "Oh, that was all bullshit," when it was just riddled with truth. So again, I don't care if the predictions are wrong or not, but it's very interesting, and I'd like to go through it one by one and just say, give you my opinion. I mean, just based on all I've studied and looked into. Again, I've never been to no Eyes Wide Shut party. I've never had anybody approach me, or I've said many times on this platform, I don't want any inside information. We're mostly here. These videos are just fun about how these creeps manage everything. Well, it's fun. We do a lot of that. We ponder. What do they know? Do they know? Obviously, they know the moon can't be. What do they know about this or that? And how many people? 10 people in a room, 100 people. No, Matt, it's tens of thousands that are in the know and in on it. That's why all those. Every business has a triangle and a certain symbol. Or there's some people in our community think there's millions in the know, and I don't believe. I think it's a very, very small group that have a clue, and even these people, I believe, know far less than what you would think they know. I think it's more of a frequency or a download, or they fulfill their role exactly for what we call not milk and what it wants, but they know not what they do. Sorry, excuse me. This is a nose whistle alert. I blew my nose a few times this morning, and I had to check it a few times. It's a bright boy alert, a nose whistle alert. No, so we should be good. We should be good. I know it was incredibly annoying to many of you. Some of you had to turn the video off. I didn't recognize what was going on. It's rare, so it doesn't happen much. So, in terms of who knows what, again, it doesn't matter. It's fun for us to do this exercise, but is a worry about your self-reality. Here to do for you. I'm here to do for me. You're here to accomplish what you need to accomplish in life for your spiritual whole. In my opinion, there's a part of us that's part of me that's not here, like a higher self type thing. I'm here as first over the wall or in this reality system, according to people like Tony. There's many like us that are part of the spiritual whole. I'm here to do something, and there's a real asshole here that's out to distract me from what I'm supposed to do. So it's pretty simple. I mean, this whole reality is like one sentence now. Again, it goes back to we should have a whole video on the consequences people versus the no consequences people debate. No consequences people. We're here as part of a spiritual whole or higher self. We cannot be spiritually harmed in any way, according to the no consequences people, no matter what bad choices we make. And to that, I always reply back with, then why is there's something here with us trying to get us to make bad choices? Why is there something with us here trying to get us to make those bad choices if there are no consequences for those bad choices? That is a strange, situation that's hard to reconcile, or probably never can be reconciled. Although, as I've said, I've come around much more to the no consequences people, much more than I was 5 or 7 years ago, or 8 years ago, where the Pope puts out his comment about Pope Francis at one point said something like, not that he doesn't believe in hell, but the way he put it out, it was similar to that. He said, well, bad souls or something, they don't go to hell, they go to the abyss. So I latched onto that, when we spent too much time thinking about what was said, and the consequences of doing certain things. Maybe you go to the abyss, or there could be a higher self, but that part of you is snuffed out. And I've come around a bit to the no consequences people, but not fully. Again, because I don't think this last part can ever be reconciled. If there are no consequences, why is there something right in getting in my business every day, pushing me to make bad choices? So Tony would say, and he said many times to me, Matt, the higher self learns from all of its incarnations. It learns. You've heard me say this before about what he's. It learns from you, but it has asshole incarnations. It has stockbroker incarnations, and then after the bell goes off at 4 o'clock, they run out and they do a line, and they try to find loose women and hookers or something. They learn the higher self learns from those assholes. If you could have Matt, you could have brother incarnations that are real assholes, stockbrokers, if you could believe that. And then Tony says the higher self learns from everyone. Well, it's possible. Sure, it's possible. Tony probably knows more about that than I do. It's possible, but in terms of what I've said before, in terms of what really needs to be done, I think the entity like us is to do it. If there's an entity or a part of higher self that can get us out of these material games, or the endless, not endless at all, the ongoing higher self need to put incarnations into material realities, into material planes, not endless, not trapped, not Saturn moon matrix. No, no, no. According to Tony, the higher self agrees to put its incarnations into these material planes, but it needs to. It could be somewhat stuck until it gets done what it needs to get done. So who's the entity that's going to get that done? Is it going to be the stockbroker, or is it going to be an entity, an outcast entity like us, that part one, see through the trick, see through the reality? Oh, this whole thing's a trick. Norm, the bathtub rebel, throwing rubber duckies against the wall. What part, Matt, is a trick? All of it. Basically, all of it. See through part one, okay, part two, worry about yourself. Okay, well, I've been distracted with a bunch of bullshit for as long as I've been alive, 35, 45, 55 years. Now, I don't have a lot of time left. What do I need to get done? What am I really here to do? Our incarnation, our entity. So, sorry to go off there, guys. I'm going to get back to the original theme. It just goes back and forth forever. But it's just, we don't need to know. It's just for fun. What do the creeps know? How big is the back room? What do they know? So, when they know, sure they know. I mean, thousands know that you can't get in no tuna fish can and go fly around like Captain Kirk and land on this and land on that and plant your flag and go feed Matt Damon on Mars. And they know that. I mean, there's a lot that probably know that. But in terms of other things, like one of the big ones would be, why can't anything travel faster than the speed of light? And, there's two different groups that think they're in the know. Well, the not know group is likely very much in the know. There's the group that understands the nature of this illusion. It's based on light. There probably was certain hints or truth drops put out in that, CIA leaked document. I mean, of course, nothing's leaked. Nothing is. I mean, it's just some sort of soft disclosure or whatever because they have to, or because that's the contractual rules of this game. And then even that's not going to be. It's not just going to be all correct. I mean, it's going to be riddled with lies and deception, of course. But that, I don't know. I don't remember the name of the document. You guys know what I'm talking about. It was covered by others in our truth research community 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that, about some CIA document talking about the nature of this illusion. There's a lot of truth in it. I mean, and why they have to put that out? Because to me, it was more true. I mean, though I didn't dive into the details, it was too, I think it was technical, and that's just not my thing. I'd rather just on a high level have a high level conversation about the nature of this illusion and why can't something travel faster than the speed of light? Well, again, I didn't take any physics classes at Penn State because I'd failed them. I don't understand. My mind doesn't work that way. The math class, I had to take business calculus, and even that, I had somebody that knows math knows that as they do the math, they know how it can be applied in the real world. I had no idea. All I knew when this number came up to drag it over here, all I knew was procedurally what to do to find an answer. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was up through the middle of the night studying on how to procedurally get through business calculus. I mean, my mind doesn't work that way. The guy across the hall, I wouldn't call him a delinquent, but he was a weird dude. He didn't study, nothing. He took the engineering calculus, and he wasn't even an engineering major. It's just like what Matt Damon said in Good Will Hunting. He just to his girlfriend. What was her? I forget. I was going to say Winona Minnie Driver. Is that her name? He said, Mozart could just play. He could just, in terms of math and all this stuff, he says, I could just play. Some people are like that. The guy across the hall at Penn State didn't look at a book, didn't he? Just put it in, just did all the engineering calculus, no problem. Where I think I got a B. Why am you don't want to hear this. But anyway, why are we even talking about this? We're talking about it because I'd like to, in terms of what can go faster than the speed of light, the more basic high level conversation is the only conversation I can have about it, but it seems to make sense that the nature of the illusion is based on light. Well, then nothing can travel faster than the nature of the projection, the projector of this illusion. And when somebody says illusion or simulation or matrix, doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean that's what the movies like The Matrix want you to think. Anytime somebody says simulation or not a very real world, they want you to attach, no, that's bad, or we're trapped, or we're in a pod, or no, it's the nature of the reality as it was designed, probably initially very benevolently by your God or you or yourself or whoever designed it. It's an illusion. So it's not bad or good. It's just what it is. That's fine. Nothing can travel faster than light. The whole illusion would break down. I don't need no math. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a simpleton. It is a little bit more complicated than that, but to me, it's not. So the point is, the creeps. There's two different. I said earlier. Sorry to stray. There's two different research groups going on. There the real creeps or bloodlines or whoever did that chat room on the hidden hand. There's that group that for who knows how long they've been managing this world, thousands of years. They really understand it. Then there's the scientists and those at university research parks and physicists and physics professors who are doing academic research that is in line with all the false clues and all the false breadcrumbs and what this reality presents. And as I've said many times, that sort of research goes nowhere. It will never get to the bottom of how this reality truly works. And the not milk and these people over here know that. And when somebody gets a real breakthrough over here, then they're paid a visit by the men in black with the pens or the rock at the end of Caddyshack. Meet Rocco and Luigi. Well, I forget the other guy's name. Judge Smales. You forget your wallet. Meet Rocco. Maybe the people that have real breakthroughs in the university research parks. Maybe the basically not milk representatives, but from like Goodfellas come by, and that's where the paid and threatened really comes in. Paid and threatened. You had a breakthrough over here. You got close in your university research park as to how this reality works, and nobody's to know about it, or we'll be back. That sort of thing. They have breakthroughs. I don't think they get that close, but those breakthroughs are covered up. Obviously, I mean that's anybody stumbling. That's very conspiratorial. Well, yeah, it is. And I'm laying. What did David Spates? I can detect your sarcasm. Good. 'Cause I'm laying it on pretty thick. I'm laying. It is very conspiratorial, but who the proof is on which side? Mine or some of the people that call me names. Nothing ever changes in terms of truly understanding our place in this reality. The scientists never really produce anything. They don't produce any medical cures. Nothing ever comes out of that side that's of any use. They'll tell you they discovered some sort of quasar or pulsar or something. It's all useless crap. There's this group over here in the university research parks. They don't produce anything that changes our lives. Well, I'm saying that's what's so conspiratorial. I'm saying they do, but it's covered up. But that's just a talk of a conspiracy person. When nothing ever comes out of this group that benefits our lives. They talked about hydrogen cars in the late 70s. We still just gas stinks. Greg loves this now. He's like addicted. Greg will lean into the pump. I love that. And he talks about it like it was an addiction. Like the sweet smell of leaded gasoline. Anybody over 45 remember leaded versus unleaded? He said the sweet smell of leaded. He loves it anyway, but they still have that. And then, of course, one of my biggest pet peeves of all time proves by itself. I mean, maybe I attach too much attention to it, or too much note to this, or importance to it, in terms of the fraudulent world giving itself away, in terms of how green everything it should be, and Al Gore and global, we call primate charming. Is that the most recent primate charming? When you pull that pump every time, it still drips. I mean, that has bothered me for 25 years, even before I started researching truth. All this green stuff and this and that. And if it would start with the basics. If anything were real, this is just big fraud. It would start with the absolute basics, saying, you know what? Before we do all this and that in the rainforest, and let's do step one. Let's make sure 180 million gas pumps a day don't drip a few drops. Because if you add those drops up, it's a river of benzene that's flowing, from every little drop and then every little rain and runoff. I don't think it's beyond the capabilities, even in the 70s, for them to a pump that doesn't drip. And see, if that's ignored, to me, then everything down the line's a fraud. But that's just me. I'm going to pause it here, guys, hoping it recorded, because sometimes it doesn't. I should have done this 10 minutes ago. Oh, no. My record on that is 1 hour, over an hour of recording. And it just, when I hit stop, I don't know.